Hare Krishna dear devotees, my name is Malati Rasi, and for last 20 years I'm in Gaudiya Math. And very often I hear saying that Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami, he didn't like his disciples to be associating with his Godbrothers. And I hear it quite often, but here I am to speak a little bit more about this topic. The truth is that when he spoke like that, like his devotees, his disciples should not go to his Godbrothers, they should not give them his books and so on. When we really take a look on these quotes and the situations and the people concerned in all that, then we can see that basically he was speaking about three, his Godbrothers. And these three are Bon Maharaj, of course, and Tirtha Maharaj or Kunja Babu, and Madhava Maharaj. And with these three he really had a non-very harmonic relationship, so quite naturally he didn't want his disciples to hang around them. But this definitely does not apply to all his Godbrothers, because on the contrary, with some other of his Godbrothers he had a wonderful relationship, and he was actually actively encouraging his disciples to take a shiksha from them and to be with them. Like, for example, Ananda Prabhu, who was excellent cook, he used to be cooking for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So he was invited by Srila Prabhupada to cook in Krishna Balaram Mandir to teach his disciples not only about cooking, but also the basic etiquette about serving prasadam. And so we have also Ananta Krishna Das Babaji, who was very much loved by Srila Prabhupada, and he loved to have him around, and of course together with his disciples. And if I'm not wrong, it was Ananta Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj who was actually leading kirtan when Srila Prabhupada was leaving a body. So, and of course we have a good couple of others, like my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Puri Maharaj. He was many times visited by Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, and there are like no indications that Srila Prabhupada say like, oh no, don't speak with him. And of course, first of all, we have to mention Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that Srila Prabhupada not only was bringing his disciples to him to take a shiksha, but also he was sending them to Chaitanya Saraswat Math in Navadvip to learn from Srila Sridhar Maharaj about Vaishnava etiquette, to learn Vaishnava bhajans and so many other things. And of course we cannot forget Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, who was his sannyas guru and with whom he was cooperating quite closely. Unfortunately, Srila Keshava Maharaj, he left his body quite soon, so then Srila Prabhupada was very much connected with his dear disciple, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj. Yeah, and we can see that Srila Prabhupada was actively inviting these Godbrothers of his to participate in various events, like we know that when he was inaugurating Mayapur temple project, so Srila Sridhar Maharaj was invited, Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj was invited, and even Srila Sridhar Maharaj was sharing the same Vyasasan with Srila Prabhupada. Maybe you have seen the pictures from this event. And my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Puri Maharaj, so he was asked to install Ananta to like the basic stone for the temple. And there are so many cases and instances where we can see that Srila Prabhupada was actually engaging his Godbrothers in to work within his mission in a beautiful, loving harmony. So yeah, I consider that to be quite important to be said, because for the decades there is some kind of negative feelings towards Srila Prabhupada's Godbrothers, because it's incorrectly understood that when he mentioned, oh my Godbrothers this, my Godbrothers that he literally meant every one of them, which is simply not true, as we can see. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, then I totally recommend you to read a book, Our Affectionate Guardians, and which is very nicely and in big detail describing Srila Prabhupada's relationship with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And it's really amazing to see their their interactions and their relationship, and it's wonderful and sweet, and of course it's also backed up by evidence, by by Prabhupada's letters and recordings, so you don't need to accept it just blindly. Somebody said it was like that. No, you can really like find some good evidence about that. And we also cannot forget the fact that Srila Prabhupada was actively inviting some of his Godbrothers to join him in his mission, to help him preaching. And to Srila Sridhar Maharaj also asked to inherit the ISKCON after him. So we really cannot imagine how possibly he can do that or ask that to his Godbrothers without expecting that his disciples will be actively associating with them. And there is one quote which is quoted very often in this respect, and this is when Srila Prabhupada said that if my Godbrothers will say something even a little bit slightly differently than I did, then you will be confused. And when we take a look, when we really think about this quote, we can see to whom he was speaking, because it's always important. When we hear some quotes, we always need to know what was the situation, who was the person, and what was the time. Like, we need to know something around that, not just, like take one or two sentences out of there and then use it universally on every situation. So to who is the person who is confused when something is said a little bit differently? And the answer is quite clear. It's like the super Kanishta devotee who have no idea who does not understand what is actually being said. Therefore, he's confused that the same thing is said differently, or something looks a little bit differently. Like he's distracted by insignificant, superficial things, because he's totally missing the essence. But devotees who are at least a little bit more advanced and have a little bit more open mind and have a little bit stronger understanding, for them such external things should not be a problem at all. Yes, so that's all for today, what I wanted to share. Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully see you next time. If you have any comment or any questions or any doubts, so please write me down into the comment section. Thank you very much. Hare